So last week I hit 5K subscribers and I did a Q&A video. And I actually enjoyed recording that video. I thought it was really fun getting to interact with you guys. So I decided, you know what? Let's try to do that again, but this time with Texans questions and see if you guys like it. So if you guys like these styles of videos, if you guys want to see more, be sure to like and comment as well that you guys want to see more. And like maybe we could do this like maybe not every week, but like maybe every month. And they don't even have to be just Texans questions. Like it can be stuff on the personal level, like Sticky, how tall are you? I'm 4'1", stuff like that. So let's just get right into this. First question comes from Port, and I'm going from bottom to top. Oh, and by the way, let me just say this. If you say, and this is like the way YouTube is, like if you say like a bad word, like the F word or, something like that, YouTube's probably not going to put it up here because YouTube's whack like that. So, yeah, let's get into this. Port asks, should Bill O'Brien go to prison for ruining our season? Yes, I think he should. I mean, it sucks that the season's already over. I at least would have hoped to like have been playing competitive December games, but like we might not even get to competitive November games. Well, actually, that's probably not true. Like technically, they're still in it. Like not mathematically eliminated. You know how they say, but I mean, we already know what's going on. Next question. Travis McNeil says, yeah, bet. Texans fan says, is DW4 a bust and a tubby? Yes, he is most definitely a tubby and most definitely a bust, but no, he is neither. I believe he's like, 6'2", 225 pounds? I don't think that's a tubby, man, so maybe in the future, he might turn into a tubby. Power says, hi. Power also says, best Texan YouTubers. Best Texans YouTubers would probably be, me. I'm the best ever. But you got some good ones out here. Obviously, you guys know Sauce Sports, Honcho, he's my boy. You got, Ruben Calvillo. Actually, if you guys didn't know, me and Ruben actually went to elementary school together. We went to kindergarten together. We actually used to share crayons. So, like, he'd be like, hey, man, taste this red crayon. And I would taste it. And I was like, oh, my God, it's so good. And then I had him the blue crayon, and he'd eat the blue crayon. Like, yeah, me and Ruben used to eat crayons together in elementary school. And if you don't believe me, go ask him about it. But, yeah, you got Ruben, obviously 713 Houston Sportscast, if you don't know who that is. You got the boys from Texans Unfiltered, but I don't know if I'd really consider them YouTubers because like they're like on a whole other level type thing. Like they have their own podcast and all that, their own website. So yeah, like you got a lot of good people out here, man. James Harden, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, asks, "What's my favorite color?" My favorite color would probably have to be magenta. No, it's blue. My favorite color is always blue. And I've told this story on stream before, actually. When I was younger, I used to eat blueberries only because they were blue. I hated them. Tasted disgusting, but they were blue. So I had to eat them, because that's my favorite color. Next question comes from H-Town Nuke. He says, do you think Watson's a top 5 quarterback? I think he's kind of overrated. And yes, I love these. They're hilarious. Watson is definitely not overrated, and I do think he's a top 5 quarterback. I mean, look at what he's doing without a coach. Dude's balling out. He don't have a coach. His play caller doesn't know what in the world he's doing. His offensive line coach can't teach his O-line how to pick up a basic stunt. He has no running back, and his defense is non-existent. I mean, any other quarterback in that situation would be putting up god-awful numbers. But Deshaun still shows up and balls out. So, yeah. Next question from Power. Again, hi, Power. Do you think Fuller will stay healthy? Knowing the Texans' luck, yes. And I say that because if Fuller stays healthy, I mean, obviously he's having a good season, and if he continues to stay healthy, he's gonna have a good season. And the Texans might not be able to afford him. So, yeah, knowing the Texans, like, yeah, Will Fuller will probably stay healthy. And obviously, Will Fuller said he changed some things about his posture. Obviously, cut the hair. Maybe the hair has something to do with it. So, who knows? But Will Fuller probably stays healthy. Next question comes from Kiki QT. He says, tell the Texans to play me. They'll play you when you stop fumbling. Next question from James again. He says, what is your favorite food? Enchiladas. No, I don't like enchiladas, but I actually answered that in my Q&A video from last week. Seafood. I love seafood. Next question comes from Certified. He says, how long will it take for us to be good again? Next season they'll be in the playoffs again. Next question, he says, should we trade for a first rounder? If so, what player should we draft? No first rounders. Don't do that. No. Evil Soap asks, what is your OnlyFans, Tubby Boy? It is like literally, I believe it's like Mr. Mediocre. I haven't like posted any content on there like in a long time, but I think it's yeah, it should be Mr. Mediocre. Next question comes from Travis McNeil. He says, what is your opinion on Matt Schaub's Texans career? Actually, I feel like Matt Schaub gets a ton of disrespect here in Houston, and that's only because of the way things ended in 2013, but I actually enjoyed watching Matt Schaub play. Like, I thought Matt Schaub was a decent quarterback, and honestly, to this day, I believe if Matt Schaub would not have broken his foot in 2011, the Texans would have won the Super Bowl. I really 100% believe that. I mean, the defense was balling out. Arian Foster was doing his thing, man. And, like, Ben Tate was also, like, I think that year, like, Foster had, like, 1,200 rushing yards, and Ben Tate had, like, 900. So, like, the Texans' run game that year was unstoppable. Their defense was unstoppable. Like, it was, like, or that defense was stopping everything. So, like, yeah, like, I think that year the Texans would have won the Super Bowl, and if Matt Schaub, would have won the Super Bowl, then maybe people would have looked at Matt Schaub differently today. So, yeah. Next question comes from Certified again. He says, will we be Super Bowl contenders next year? Probably not, but with Deshaun Watson not, like, anything's not out of the realm of possibility. Pedro, what's up, Pedro? He says, what did you think of us not trading Watt yet? I'm angry. I mean, it's up to Watt. If he wants to get traded, then trade him. If he doesn't, then trade him. Trade him regardless, man. We need some picks. Port asks, with this upcoming draft, do the Texans have a chance of getting a good player with the pick that would make a difference on this team? It's possible. I mean, they got Justin Reed in the third round, and obviously Justin Reed's not having a good season this year, but he was a good player, and with the right coaching, he will be a good player. So it's possible that they do get a good player in the third round, especially if they pick a running back, because running backs are so easy to find. Pedro asks, do you think the Texans will beat the Packers? No. Pedro again, what did you think of the J.J. Watt trade? They haven't traded J.J. Watt, so I don't think anything of it. Jeff asks, should I start at O-line for the Texans? No, there's actually a weight limit to be in the NFL, Jeff, and at 482 pounds, I don't think you'd be starting anywhere on an NFL team. Next question comes from Jared. He says, do you want my lollipop? Question mark, winky face. Vote him out, guys. He's definitely sus. Vote him out. Vote him out. Vote him out. Next question comes from JJ Watt. He says, should Texans be major sellers at the trade deadline who are deemed untradeable outside of Watson and Tunsil? Yes, the Texans should be sellers, not major sellers, though. Who are deemed untradeable outside of Watson and Tunsil? Titus Howard, Max Sharping, Ross Blacklock. That's probably about it. Next question from JJ Watt again. If our original first pick is in the top 8, is the Texans Tunsil trade still worth it? Miami only wins if they can draft Sewell from Oregon, which most likely needs a top 3 pick. No. The Tunsil trade will always be worth it. He's a beautiful bald man, so yeah, no. The best asks realistic coaching signing in the future. Dan Quinn. I mean, I'm hoping for Joe Brady. I'd be fine with Eric Bieniemy or Matt Eberflus, maybe even Lincoln Riley. But yeah, I mean, to each their own. Next question comes from Juan Rosales. He says, let's say we trade BMAC to a team when you get a second round pick. That'd be awesome. Do you use that pick and package someone to move into the first round and get a talented cornerback or running back? No. I feel like the Texans should stay put. Like, obviously, if they get that second round pick from, like, the McKinney trade, they should stay put regardless and, like, get what comes to them. Like, I don't think they're a team right now that can afford to trade more picks to get one player. I feel like they have quite a few holes to fill, like safety, corner, edge rusher. Well, maybe edge rusher. Maybe right guard, running back. Yes, I said running back. F. David Johnson. So yeah, I think it should stay put. Marvin asks, you think Watson getting at least 3 rings? Minimum 3 rings. Next question comes from Alonso. He says, what would Watson have to do to pass J.J. Watt as the greatest Texan of all time? Play here like 2-3 more years. Fuego Romeo asks, anyone we should trade for before the deadline? No. The Texans should be selling, not buying. Thoughts on Anthony Weaver so far this year by Port? Okay, here's the thing. A lot of people will probably remember me saying I do like Anthony Weaver. I definitely said that. But Anthony Weaver said he sucks. So Anthony Weaver can go. Next question comes from Alfred. He says, will we win a Super Bowl during the Deshaun Watson era? Absolutely. Next question comes from Jacob. He says, does Kiki have a chance to make it as a Texan now? I mean, he's currently on the team. I mean, if the right coach comes in, maybe they can get something out of Kiki, you know? Like, maybe so. I'll leave that as a maybe. Next question comes from the best. He says, should the Texans try to get rid of Whitney or keep him? Get rid of him. Get rid of him. If they can get rid of Whitney, bro, I'd be so happy. Next question comes from Maynard Muniz. He says, what offseason moves do you think the Texans can make to improve the defense? Just draft defensively. I haven't looked at any free agents available, so I'm not going to speak on that. But obviously, trade or cut. Well, you can't cut Merciless. Like, trade Merciless for like a 2038 7th round pick, man, or something. Like, yeah, man. Like, obviously, let Scarlett walk. That would be huge as well. Like, let the young guys play. Jacob Martin and Jonathan Grenard. I think that's something that they should do. Next question comes from Average Guy. He says, who you hope we trade before the deadline? Hopefully Whitney Merciless, like I was just saying. J.J. Watt and Kenny Stills. I think if we trade those guys, the Texans will be in good shape. Next question comes from MKS Gaming Clan. He says, if you could have one of our young guys become a superstar, who would you choose? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably Ross Blacklock, because he's on a rookie deal. He would still have 3 more years of, like a cheap contract, and we'd have someone on the interior of that defensive line to just dominate. So I'm going Ross. Next question comes from Bill O'Brien. He says, do you think I should retire from coaching football? I've been thinking of opening a seafood joint here in town, thinking of calling it Billy O Shrimp Co., where you can trade in your McNuggets for shrimp kebabs. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, I would definitely trade McNuggets for shrimp kebabs, and that seems like a Bill O'Brien type trade. So, I mean, F it, do it, man, do it. Just do whatever your little heart desires, just not coaching. Next question comes from Angus. He says, do you think you could ever or would ever want to work in the Texans organization? Could I ever? Probably not. I've probably talked too much mess about the team to even get hired. And would I ever want to? I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Like, imagine GM Sticky Like, bro, if I became GM, I would try to one-up Bill O'Brien and, like, try to outdo him with the dumb trades. Like, I'd probably trade John Weeks for, like, a first-round pick. I mean, how dumb would that be? Next question comes from Romeo Cornell. He says, when people mention the young hotshots like McVay, Shanahan, Vrabel, etc., I am always left out. Why? I have a lot of potential here in Houston. Honestly, Romeo, it's because all those guys are, like, you know, incredibly good looking guys, but you're ugly. Next question comes from El Taco. He says, which other team would hire the GOAT O'Brien? I could see the Jets. Honestly, I could see the Jets. Daniel Martinez asks, is it true you are in fact not racist? Your boyfriend is black. Oh my god. Oh, there's a backstory to that. So, in one of my streams, I just happened to say, I'm not racist. And I was going to quote that Joyner Lucas song. But for whatever reason, it came out of my mouth. Like, I'm not racist. My boyfriend's black. I'm like, because I think in the song he says, I'm not racist. My sister's boyfriend's black or something like that. So, I don't know, man. Like, it just slipped out. Like, a bunch of stuff be slipping out in my live streams, and like they end up screen recording it, and like, haha, remember when Sticky said this? Next question comes from Meg17. He says, if the Texans happen to get a first round pick, what are some targets we should look for? I've been focusing on academics right now since it is my senior year of college. Hey, man, good luck in your senior year of college. And what are some targets? I feel like they have to go defense, whether it's a corner, a safety, or an edge rusher, maybe even a linebacker. All I know is that they have to go defense. Now, I haven't really, like, looked in particular yet, like, for those college football players. I don't start doing that till after the Super Bowl, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, like, a specific player. Next question comes from Buff Toad. He says, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is Tim Kelly and also Anthony Weaver? They're both ones. They suck. Lastly, how would you feel if the Texans traded Watt for a cornerback, Stills for a DN in the start of their prime, and Jacob Martin in the third round pick for the coming year for a good running back? I would hate it. Get picks, not players. Next question from Pedro again. He says, do you ever see Derek Deshaun Watson playing for another team in the NFL? No. He's staying here forever. Next question comes from Austin Salazar. Do you think the Texans should sell even though Watson doesn't want them to? Yes. And if they do, who is safe from the fire? So, I answered this one earlier. I said Tunsil, Watson, Blacklock, and Titus Howard. That's it. Next question comes from Thurman. He says, realistically, when the Texans going to be a very good team next year? Next question comes from Evil Soap. He says, if you were in the Texans organization, what job would you want to have? Probably someone that, like, greets people at the door. Next question from Bill O'Brien again. What adult beverages do you recommend? Still can't get over the fact that Mr. McNair gave me the boot. Adult beverages. I'm a beer guy. I usually drink either Corona, Modelo, or Michelob. Now, since I do, like, I'm a big, I guess, fitness guy, you can say. Like, I'm usually watching what I eat and, you know, what I do. I usually tend to get Corona Premier because it has, like, less calories. Next question comes from Bryce. He says, who's your top GM candidate? I don't like Jack E, so I hope he gets fired soon. Agree with that. F. Jack Easterby. And as far as my top GM candidate, I'm actually going to make a video on that in the future. So, yeah, I am not going to answer your question, but I will give you a hint. He is somewhere in the AFC South. Last question comes from James Harden, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He says, how hot is your sister on a scale of 1 to 10? That's a weird question. I do feel like there's like a Tennessee slash Alabama joke in there somewhere, but I'm honestly too lazy to look for it. So, yeah, that concludes the Q&A. If you guys enjoyed, like I said at the start of the video, comment down below, drop a like, and yeah, be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.